In this video series, we are going to discuss how to create HTTP requests using JavaScript. In a previous series, we discussed about how we can generate HTTP requests using the Postman. That is an application that you can use and you can test your API, server API functionality and implementation. You can check that. Now we are moving away from Postman and we are going to create our own HTTP request via JavaScript. The first thing we are going to do, we are going to, instead of having a API itself, a server API up and running somewhere in the cloud, what we are going to do, we are going to create a fake API in our local machine. And we are going to use JSON server for that. And to do so, we need to install the node.js. So that's what we need to install. I'm not going to go through all the details, but that's what you need to install. And to go there, you need to say, you need to get it from the nodejs.org, the download page, and you select the operating system that you need to use here, Windows or Mac OS, or maybe Linux, or even you get the source code and you compile in your machine. So that's the URL that you need to get there and select that what you want, the operating system. And then what you do. To run the fake database, what we're going to do, we are going to use what they call JSON server. And basically what you need to do is create some text file, and it's just a text file, but has the format is kind of a JSON format. And what I mean by that is you have a curly brackets here. So the JSON is like an object, a JavaScript object. And what you need to do here is, and JSON, if you know the word JSON, the abbreviation here, the acronym is JSON. It's J for Java, JSON, JS, the S is JavaScript, right? JavaScript, object notation. So this is an object in JavaScript. So you have a curly brackets there, and then you have a series of key and values. In this case, you're going to put the key here and then separate by the column. And then you have here a series, in this case, a series of objects inside that are the values that is in an array. And basically that's it. We are going, in this example that I'm going to give you, it's like a blogs. So the blog has a title, a body, an author, and an ID. And then you can put multiple blogs objects. So you need to use a comma here and then create another blog right there and so on. Then you get an array of blogs. That's what we are going to do. To run the fake server, what we are going to do in the VS Code, you're going to run the terminal window. In a terminal window, you are going to run this command here, and you need the Node.js to do this command, to this command be valid. So you're going to say npx, and then you're going to say JSON dash server, and then there is a dash dash here, a watch. So you are watching a file, and the file can be any name. I'm putting here db .json, but could be anything. And then dash dash port, and you're going to give a port number. Remember that you are going to run two applications now. One is the server, this fake server, and the other is your program in JavaScript. So you need to have in different ports. So you need to put a different port. And I think 8000 is not the default port for VS Code, at least the version that I have. So it's safe for you to use port 8000. If you do that in the terminal window on the VS Code, you're going to get something like that at the end. If you successfully was able to start this JSON server, you're going to get something like that. So the resources, that basically is the endpoints that you're going to have, is right here, is blogs. And that's where we are going to do all this like a create, read, update, and delete entries in that fake text file or database, we are going to do via this endpoint here. If you get this, means that is a success, you were able to run successfully. You want to check it, even without any JavaScript, just copy that path, put in your browser, and if you hit enter, you should get something like that. So you would get all the entries for that database that we have. That would confirm that the database is running correctly. Okay. So let's go for it. So let's stop just a little bit the how do I say the presentation. Let's go to Canvas, and then in Canvas you're going to get this simple code HTTP request, and we are going to run the JSON server. Besides, before, yeah, let's do that. So click here to download the zip file. I'm going to save in some place that I remember. Where do we have? So HTTP requests. And then here I'm going to say new and folder. And let's say instructor. I'm going to save it here. And if you go there, I'm going to unzip, extract all. And if you keep going down the tree here, that's what you have as a project. So I'm not only giving you the JSON database, the original one, but I'm also giving the skeleton of the work that we are going to do, a skeleton of the project that we are going to do a hands-on. So select the path. In my case, I'm going to run the VS Code from that directory. So I'm going to change to that directory, and then I'm going to say code. You take a minute. All right. So if you go to JSON, you're going to see here the entries. So each blog is an object right here. So this is another blog and so on. And then what you need to do is I put in the same file, I put the command that you need to send, you need to run to get that up and running your fake JSON DB server. So what you need to do, you're going to copy this whole command here, control copy, for example, open a new terminal window so you can open from here. And then I need to just move this a little bit up right there. Give a second to open. Now I'm going to control V. So that's the command that I want to do. And remember, db.json is the file name. So whatever you name that, your file, that will be here. So in this case, we are going to use that one. And if you hit enter, it takes a while too. And here you have the resources, the blogs and the info. The info is just the command that you need to give. We are not going to use that. But again, to double check that everything is fine, you can copy this guy, the URL, go here, create a new window here, new tab, Control V, and if you hit enter, you are going to get all the entries right there. So we know that the server is working, the fake server is working and responding to this endpoint here. last thing I would like to mention is I have a browser extension that helps formatting the response from the server. This for this particular example, basically is what you see here is what you're going to get in the raw. You see it's very close to the raw, but you can make it more look like a JSON object like this. So you just need to go to the extensions and say JSON. Let's see what it is. Extensions. JSON formatter. So you need to install that if you want to see better. There are some other server APIs that when they send the data to you, they don't look like nice formatted. So it's good to have this JSON formatter here installed as an extension. So don't forget to do that if you wanna. All right. But again, this is the first video just to try to put up and running the DB server for you, the JSON server. And in the next video, we are going to discuss how we are going to access via JavaScript this data bank here. Okay, and that's it for this one. Thank you very much.